Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City is about Batman's last big case with the entire Bat team. A mysterious epidemic breaks out in Gotham City. What you learn is that there was kind of a precursor to this epidemic in Gotham City in the 19th century.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our Paws On Comics segment.
And today we are covering the not really well-known Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City.
And that's for good reason, because we read this limited edition series, the first volume. 6 issues written by Evan Narcisse, illustrated by Abel, A-B-E-L. And it's a tie-in prequel to the video game Gotham Knights, which came out in 2022. We thought this was going to be exciting because I had seen the artwork and thought it was going to be great. And we were terribly disappointed.
Yeah.
But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on some future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Thank you so much for sharing our videos, subscribing, commenting, and so much more. We appreciate everything you do.
Yes.
So this came out originally October of 2022. There were 6 issues, and each issue came out monthly. And appearing with Batman in this comic series is Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and it just says Robin. But I think
we don't know which one.
Whichever they decide to choose. So here is the synopsis for the series.
Alright, it says on the back of the book, a mysterious virus has infected Gotham City. Yes, it is referring what you think it's referring to. Turning its victims into rabid, yellow-iris maniacs driven to looting, theft, and bursts of anger. Batman and his Gotham Knights, yes, that's their title now, struggle to keep the strange virus contained while investigating its origins. Is to take a trip to Gotham's past and see the city's first mass vigilantes, the mysterious hero known only as the Runaway, as they, too, find themselves mired in the mystery of this virus.
Now, they had a clip for this, I guess a teaser, and the teaser looked cool, the characters' design and outfit looked cool. We didn't fully understand when we first saw it that the Runaway was from the 1800s?
Yeah, from 1847 Gotham.
But it still sounded interesting because they made it seem like, okay, well, the Runaway, he is the catalyst for Batman and inspiration for Batman being the vigilante in our modern times.
Yes, and like being a parallel. But, however, when you start reading the book, unfortunately that is not the case. It's supposed to be a parallel of each other, the tale split between 1847 and modern day, and how this case from 1847 was brought back to modern day, and the key was reading both stories to see how they connect to each other.
But in here, it just switches out with no notice. There's no segue. 1 minute you're reading modern day, and then you turn the page and it just jumps to the past.
Without any lead-in.
Then you read a few pages and it jumps back to the present, and it doesn't make sense that the person that wrote this didn't decide to have a lead-in or a segue from the past to the present to the past. Is actually confusing.
Yeah.
And you get frustrated the more you read it.
Right.
The second problem is the version of Nightwing they have in here. He is a jerk. He is a jerk. I'm going to put it nicely.
And all that's in the game or not.
But this is the Nightwing that nobody likes.
And they keep writing it.
And the thing about it in here is they have him make an uncanon statement about Batman coming to a city and why he left, when if you've been reading the Nightwing and Batman comics for years, what they say in here isn't even canon.
Right.
So maybe it's just specifically for this book.
Probably in the game too.
I was going to say, now before we go further, we understand that this was supposedly a prequel into the game.
Yes.
And tells the events before Batman dies, because they kill him off.
Oh gosh.
In this version, which of course,
it's like DC's new trend is to constantly kill Batman for some reason.
So there are so many problems with this series. There's so many problems that I will not ever willingly, without coercion or payment, read volumes 2 through 6, because it's just bad.
Yeah.
And there are going to be spoilers here, but so if you have some desire to read this and you don't want to know what happens, then you might want to jump ahead. There are spoilers here, and there need to be spoilers because I don't want you to waste your hard-earned money and your precious time on reading this book. It is terrible. It is actually, for me, one of the worst Batman graphic novels of comics ever. I'm just like so frustrated because it looked like it was going to be cool. The teaser looked good. And I've been trying to get the book, and finally Rascal said, hey, I found it for you. Finally, I got it. Yay! And so I'm reading it, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, it's not as good as I thought, but it's going to get better. And I kept waiting for it to get better, and it didn't get better. And then you're reading about the Runaway, and then you don't know who the Runaway is the whole time. And as you can see in the picture, the Runaway is covered from head to toe. And, of course, you assume the Runaway is a guy. Why would you not? Well, guess what? In here in the story, they ruin the illusion, and there are two female characters that are a couple. And Rascal says she picked it up long before I did. And one of them gets kidnapped. And so she says, I'm going to save you. And you see her closet. And yes, that was deliberately done.
It's an in-joke,
And then you see the hat and the mask and something else. And I almost throw the book on the floor. And I just
like
say, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. The Runaway is a woman. I don't want to read this anymore. So I jump to the end. Now, why do I feel that way? I don't care if it's a guy dressed as a woman or a woman dressed as a guy. I don't have a problem with that if you're telling me that at the beginning of the story. But don't bait and switch what the book is about in 5 different areas of this book, and all 5 areas are lies. Yeah. And that for me was just the last nail in the coffin. I jumped to the end. The end is unsatisfying.
Very.
And it's like, this was a waste of my time. This is a waste of your time finding it. This book is crap.
Yeah. It unfortunately, yes. And here's the thing. They use they to indicate they don't know the gender on the back of the book. However, when they go into the book itself, they refer to the Runaway as he. So you're on the assumption it's a he. You don't know the face. The concept itself of a runaway slave fighting to free other slaves, like they're their own superhero underground railroad, sounded like a fantastic idea in itself.
And then learning what the connection is to Batman, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be good.
It was fantastic. However, the execution for us was done poorly. Yeah. And besides the reveal of it not being a man, is the fact that they still managed to put in the tropes of the modern comics set all the way back in 1847. True. But the biggest thing that bothered me is that the Runaway, majority of the time, only rescued women. And the men were only rescued alongside the women if the men were with them. If not, majority of men, both of any skin color, were always taken out in the book, and only the women majority were saved. And it really rubbed us the wrong way that this superhero was starting to be biased on who to save.
This is not a superhero. This is an insult to Batman. Is an insult saying that it is a predecessor to him. Batman saves anyone. He's on the side of justice, and he helps anyone regardless of gender, race, creed, color, religion, or whatever. Right. And it doesn't matter. And to have this character that you find out, as you said, has preferential treatment and only saves certain people, it's an insult. DC ought to be ashamed of themselves even putting this piece of crap out. Right. And you haven't heard me say this about any DC book. You haven't really heard me go off about it, but this book is garbage. Yeah. To me, this book is worse than I'm Not Starfire.
Thank goodness for that.
This is garbage. To me, there are no redeeming qualities. And then they try to loosely connect Foxworthy, the name of one of the women, to Lucius Fox.
Yeah, his ancestors helped save the slaves for some reason.
And then one of the worst things in here that's just as bad as this crap reveal is Vandal Savage, how he's emasculated, how his powers of immortality are taken away by this woman. After the woman gets the powers from him, it's like, what the hell is going on with this book?
Yeah, quickly, they retcon Vandal Savage's powers in this particular book or take. We know that he got immortality from the meteor, and he's been like this since the caveman era.
And in every book, animated series, or live action series, He's been immortal.
That's correct. Well, in here, they literally retconned that, and the writer wrote in a weakness so the Runaway could defeat him. And the weakness is that he's only immortal if he has a piece of the meteor that gave him the immortality is still in his hand.
Chicken Jewel.
Yes, and if he doesn't,
shirt.
if you destroy it or kill him with it, then the immortality will fade with it. And they literally gave her a way out by retconning his powers. And then top it all off with it, he is still bigoted when Vandal just didn't care who he stepped on to take over the world. He was at least equal in terms of everyone's going to work for him and everyone's going to serve him. But in here, they still managed to take the guy that wanted world domination, lived through all of Earth, and decided, yo, he's on the same level as the time period holders who were treating people like this, which is very stupid because he hated everybody. He wanted world domination. He did, and then they even make excuse within the book like, oh, well, I do this to everybody. It makes no difference. But yet they had him particularly take in one type of people. So it ended up still looking like they were saying that. So they literally just rewrote all of these Batman characters and things to appeal a certain audience that isn't reading, and to something where it no longer fits Batman. It's just to fit a box.
And then the last insult to injury is that at the end of the book, well, she and her girlfriend and a bunch of others are still alive, and that's how they end up meeting Batman.
The immortality.
And his children. It's like, wait a minute. You take it from
more
Vandal
Bat
Savage.
family, yeah.
No, we're not Vandal Savage fans. He's a villain.
Right.
But again, you take it from him on a stupid technicality that was made up, as you said, in retcon, and give it to someone who doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry, this character is not a hero. This character is a disappointment.
Sorry.
And that's just 5 of the reasons why this book is not worth reading. So, if you have actually read Batman Gotham Knights, Gilded City, let us know in the comments below. Did you like it? And if so, why? And if you didn't, well, hey, fist bump. And if you haven't read it, don't read it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your hold at the library. Don't waste anything reading this piece of garbage, because that's what it is. And we learned there's 5 more pieces of garbage after it. So if they're interested in it, and maybe they're not dealing with the Runaway. So if they're not dealing with the Runaway, I retract my comment. But if they are dealing with the Runaway, I stand by my comment, and don't waste your time.
Right. And it's not even worth the digital code for the games either as little bonuses. It's not even worth that because the game turned out to be disappointing too.
It's a hardback book that they have the audacity to be charging $25 for this piece of crap.
$25 for this?
Price. So don't buy it. Don't waste your time. So if you've read any issue of Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City, let us know in the comments, especially if you read the first edition.
Yeah.
Like we did. Let us know, did you like it? And if so, why? Tell us what we missed.
Please.
We did miss something.
Please.
And if you didn't like it, then welcome to the club.
Yeah.
If you haven't read it, don't waste your time. Give it a pass. We don't know about the other 5, but this one, if they're anything like the first one, I say pass on the series.
Right. And if you have no more subscribe for updates and movie reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And thank you so much again for subscribing to our channels, commenting, sharing our videos, helping us on our journey to over 2,000 subscribers this year. As always,
you are special. Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you.